and gentlemen, welcome to the Dirty Know-It-All Podcast.
Nerdy know it all, nerdy know it all, nerdy know it all, nerdy know it all.
You know what? There is a plan for everything. There is a plan for everything. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the first episode of the Nerdy Know-It-All Podcast.
My name is Scott.
No. My name is Scott. Your name's Kevin.
I am Scott.
This is not going anywhere.
We're not 12 years old, we promise. What's up, guys? This is Kevin. I'm co-host of the Nerdy Know It All Podcast with my buddy Scott.
You're a co-host? I thought I was the host.
Co-host?
Co-host. I thought I was the
Someone
host.
lied to you about your job duty. You're not the host.
Oh.
So this podcast is already over.
Damn.
Let's get this rolling.
Okay. It's a co-host show with my name is Scott, and you got Kevin over here. I'm going to have Kevin introduce himself.
Hey, guys. This is Kevin. We're doing the very typical introduce yourself method of my name's Kevin. I'm
Typical?
I'm 25 years old.
I think this is
And
common. It's not typical. It's just common, okay?
is it atypical?
Who knows?
We didn't go to school enough for that. No, I'm Kevin. I'm 25, and
I think we got that part. You already said that part
me
once.
and
This is
Scott-
twice.
don't interrupt me.
You know what? Please finish.
Me and Scott, we've been friends now.
It's Scott and I.
For 12 years now, I think, right?
I've lost count.
12 years.
I've lost count.
Might as well
Who
be-
uses the word friends around us anymore? It's family. Let's be honest.
Fair enough. Anyway, the last part of my introduction, favorite movie genre, just to introduce ourselves a little bit, what we're into.
Just so you know, guys, it's stupid. Spoiler alert.
No.
Sorry.
So this first episode, we're talking about movies that we've seen in 2018 so far, and my favorite movie genre is horror movies. If that tells you anything.
It's
don't,
alright.
Don't play. No.
It's all right.
We'll do a full episode on horror
It's
movies.
all
I
right.
will debate you till my
know
dying
what?
breath on that.
You know what? You've tried this before, and it doesn't work.
No, it does work.
It doesn't.
I told you earlier tonight, I have fun in my brain.
Well, I mean, anybody can have fun in their brain. Anybody can.
Anyway, introduce yourself so we can get this rolling.
Man, my name is Scott. I'm 26. People tend to call me
Oldie locks.
I'm going bald, so it's getting there.
This is very, very true.
And I've been known to be a dick.
Known to be a dick? I think that is set in stone, my friend.
Oh, all right then. And favorite movie genre would be probably. It's so hard for me. It's mixed between comedy and action thriller.
Fair enough.
Just because I always like something to be funny, but I also like that action-packed thriller scene, fighting or someone blowing something up just because it's in the way.
You like mindless action.
Yes, I do. Actually, yes, I do.
What's the best mindless action movie you've seen in recent years? There's not a lot nowadays, honestly.
It's not. It's just more action-packed driven movies out there. It's not mindless action. There is one coming up, and I can't remember the name of it. It's the Hurricane Heist or something like that. It looks more like a mindless action movie that's coming out.
Does look very cheesy.
So I mean, it's a genre that's not really packed out as best as everybody.
You ever
thinks it should
seen
be.
Hardcore Henry before? That came out 2 years ago.
If I have,
It was from it was like a
like once or twice.
first person view of a guy on a revenge story, and it was just a lot of blood and gore.
Man, if I have, it's been like once or twice. I mean,
It's pretty good. I was surprised at that.
I revisit a lot of movies, but it's just so hard for me to remember some movies that I've only seen once or twice compared to the movies that I've seen 10, 15,000 times and can tell you
Right.
word for word.
Right.
So, I mean, that brings me on the topic of what is going on with the movies today.
Yeah, guys, so our first episode, we decided, because we've seen 3 movies together this year, and then I've seen 2 outside of that.
Just so you know, we're 0-3.
Yeah, we're a lot of our all of our movie picks this year have not been good, and we're going to get into that. So that's our first episode of our podcast, is movies in 2018 so far. because I don't know what's going on, man, but there's a big rut going on right now with film, I think.
So our first movie we went to go see together was Darkest Hour, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, if you guys haven't heard of Darkest Hour, and maybe mild spoilers throughout this, we're not really trying to do a full in-depth review of these movies. We're just trying to talk about our thoughts on them. Darkest Hour stars Gary Oldman as Winston Churchill, and it's sort of a... I don't even know how would you describe this movie.
It's supposed to be based on his storyline between the war of World War II. Well,
it's kind of in the midst of it, but it's like... It's not a war film. There's really only one or two shots of a war. It's more this internal conflict that he's had throughout the whole movie.
It shows what he went through when he took command. He took command and showing what he had to go through to deal with everything. Now, my thing about this whole entire movie, and I'm going to say it right now, is the only thing they got right was the walk of Winston Churchill.
I will say this. My favorite part of that movie was the portrayal of Winston Churchill by Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman's a class act. Every role he ever does is just phenomenal.
And that's the thing is like I said, that's the only good thing about this movie. And I know we're gonna get a lot of flack on this, man. I can tell you right now.
Yeah, this is a movie that's gotten rave reviews from critics.
But here's the thing about you and I, and this is just something, granted I would like bring out later, but it's the best time to do it. We're history buffs.
We really are. I was a history major at my school.
So when it comes to history and it comes to a movie based on history, we're going to nitpick it a little bit harder than most people.
Well, World War II is one of your favorite periods, right?
Well, you have the Civil War and World War II. Okay. World War I, it's there.
Civil War is my favorite. World War II has always been really interesting. We don't have a ton of World War II history here because it wasn't massive.
It wasn't here. The wars that were held here that were massive was, of course, the Revolutionary War and, of course, the Civil War. I mean, there's many wars that's portrayed
Civil
here.
War especially, yeah.
If I wanted to get in depth, the Revolutionary War is one of my top 3 wars that I like to study, just because it took place here for our independence. It's for our freedom.
Fair enough.
The Civil War is just there's so much to gain knowledge from there, so it doesn't happen again.
Me personally, man, I was talking to somebody about this before. I was talking about if you wanted to go somewhere in time, where would you want to go? I want to go to like early 1800s, late 1700s Charleston. I would just love to be here when we were Charlestown.
Right.
That sort of harbor town. Ships were coming in, bringing cargo, and it was very old-fashioned lifestyle. Families lived and died in the same house together. Tradition was a big thing.
That's one thing I could point out about Darkest Hour is it actually portrayed that over in England.
It did, yeah. It really got the time period right.
So, I mean, that based on with the Winston Churchill portrayal, it was great. As the movie itself, it just...
I thought the movie had some good comic relief moments in there.
There were some decent comic relief.
I wasn't rolling on the floor laughing, obviously.
It was more of a ha ha ha. Okay, it's time to go on to the next scene.
I don't know. There's a scene that may scar some people, and not a spoiler, by the way, guys. But Winston Churchill... When a woman's writing a speech for him, and he steps out of the bathtub,
she
and
blushes and
she runs down the stairs.
There's a couple of times
he doesn't even bother to put on a towel. He just walks out.
And of course, back then they didn't wear undergarments when they went to bed. They just wore a robe and they went to sleep. When he gets out of bed, he lifts the leg up and she sees everything, and she blushes.
We don't see everything, by the way. We're not being scarred.
And then of course, when she starts getting better and better, because which Churchill, believe it or not, had certain ways he wanted things written out, which they got that correct. There were certain where I'd say type, because they didn't write then, they had typewriters.
What do you think of the Parliament scenes? I found those to be probably some of the more riveting aspects of the movie.
Those actually, I mean, and it was spot on. Like again, it's one of those things.
I mean, it's accurate for that time period.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was gathered in one small room, and
it was basically be in each other's faces until you come to an agreement.
That's the thing. They wanted everybody into it. They wanted everybody to know what was going on. I mean, it's just it was a movie that I was expecting to be good, and it just.
I love history related movies, man. One of the movies that I don't feel like gets enough credit. Praise Matthew McConaughey, one of my favorite actors. Free State of Jones. That was one of the best history movies to come out in recent years for me. 2016.
2016 or 17?
Summer of 2016.
16?
It's a more obscure story, but that's a movie that I really enjoyed. I really like history movies. This one, for me... Did you watch Lincoln with Daniel Day-Lewis?
No.
Okay, so that's a movie...
I didn't want to ruin the image of Abraham Lincoln.
Okay, so that's a movie that is more focused on Lincoln's internal battle.
Right.
And that's what Winston Churchill is doing in this movie. It's more about him trying to find out what's best for his country. And I did like that about the movie. It's his pride almost battling with what's right for the country.
Well, absolutely. I mean, any president's going to go through that.
Which makes sense, because you don't want to tarnish your image and, do something wrong.
Right.
But you got to show people that you're a strong leader. So those aspects of the movie I really, really liked. It's just the runtime wasn't justified.
No, well, I mean, that's my other thing about the movies. I mean, it's just like the other two movies we went to see. 2.5 hours, 2 hours to 2.5 hours long, and they shouldn't be that long.
Well, what movie can really pull off a 2.5 hour runtime? The superhero movies can barely do it these days.
Well, that's the thing. It's so hard to grasp anybody's concentration these days for 2 hours to watch a movie. People are technically always on the go. They're always doing something. They're always out and about. And it's just so hard to keep somebody focused that long now.
Well, like I said, man, Darkest Hour, it was a disappointing movie, but I did think they got some aspects right. I didn't hate it. I wasn't in love with it, and I wanted to love it.
I'll be honest with you. I wanted to walk out. I honestly wanted to walk out. That's how upsetting I was about it. The only thing that kept me focused on it was the portrayal of Winston Churchill.
Pretty much, yeah.
So.
He's the only character you can get invested in.
Now,
but let's talk about a movie where we were not invested in anybody as a character.
This movie, I went in open-minded, completely open-minded. I was not expecting anything.
This was a pick of yours too. This was a movie I wasn't really aware of.
So upset about this movie, man. I was so upset. I wanted to go back and just get my money back because the movie was that terrible. And I'm talking about 15 to 17 to Paris.
Oh, guys. This movie...
I could go on days for this movie. Let me hit my point real fast.
Do your thing.
First of all, if you want to act yourself, at least act right.
So I did find out that wasn't their choice. That was Clint Eastwood's idea to get them in the movie.
I don't care. If you're going to act yourself, act yourself.
Dude.
Number 2, I don't want to know your whole storyline.
Okay, so
if I wanted to know about you, you should have made a movie about yourself.
Okay,
not about the event.
Not to cut you off, but guys, the problem that we have with this movie is if you don't know the story, there was a couple guys in Paris about 3 years ago that stopped a terrorist attack on a train, and
if you want to call it that.
Well, I won't get into that, but so we were excited to see that aspect of the movie, and I love tribute movies to fallen or living heroes.
This is not a tribute movie, though.
No, I know it's not.
God forbids it's not.
But a movie that we saw last year which if you have not seen it, please go out and buy it and watch it. Only the Brave. One of the best movies of last year, and it was so underrated.
So underrated.
And our problem with this film was that it was supposed to be focused on these characters and their...
Look here.
I
have to say this.
No.
This movie should have been a documentary for the Discovery Channel.
30-minute documentary on the History Channel, man.
Look here, I give it an hour. I don't need a movie. I did not need a movie.
No, so the problem is only about 5 minutes of this film are dedicated to the train.
I don't even give it 5.
The rest of it is their childhood and their military training and them backpacking through Europe.
Pretty much. That's it.
And they do...
Hey, guess what? That's the whole movie.
And they do...
Here's
the thing, though. It's a 90-minute movie, and it felt like 2.5 hours.
Let me tell you what. I probably would have fell asleep if I didn't have something to eat or something to drink. That's it.
This was the movie where I almost walked out. I mean, I almost looked at you and said, let's go.
I mean, it was so...
If not for the comfort of some of these theaters, I would leave.
Well, here's the thing. I thrive on movies based on true events.
Yeah.
Based on true... Because I go to those movies that are based on true events to see if they actually are based on the true events or if Hollywood put their touch on it and go, oh, well, this is what happened instead of what actually happened. Which I've seen before.
No, guys, this movie was so cringeworthy, honestly. And it really tried to be funny. There are so many lines in this film where they are trying to be funny with the dialogue. And, I mean, I was embarrassed.
What about a damn selfie stick? How about that?
Selfie
stick.
Selfie sticks are made by Satan. I am convinced it is the curse on this world.
Well, Disney don't even allow them in their park.
No one should allow them anywhere.
I'm just saying. That selfie... What? How would you stick out as a tourist? Selfie stick!
Let me tell you this. Tangent time. I remember when I was in Ohio a couple years ago.
Oh, God.
For a family member's birthday, one of my family members pulled it out. No disrespect to who I'm talking about. Love you very much. But they pulled out a selfie...
listen to this.
Okay, well... They pulled out a selfie stick and they took a picture. Everybody else is smiling. Not kidding. I'm doing this in the photo.
What the hell?
You can't see what I'm doing, people, but I have the angriest look on my face right now.
My thing is, if you want to stick out a sore thumb as a tourist, just pull out a selfie stick and go, oh, let's take a selfie here. Oh, let's take a selfie here. Oh, let's take a selfie here.
Guys,
oh, let's take a selfie here.
Scott,
I'm not lying. He said that line 13,000 times in the movie.
Scott, I've been to Europe. I did not take
I think
those pictures.
that was his only script was selfie time. Oh, we got to get a selfie here. Not even lying.
How about the fact that it starts with that particular character saying, let me tell you the story of how we came to this epic moment, and then it just completely drops it.
I'm confused. That's another thing that I'm having a problem with the movies today, man. Like, this year so far, the movies have had no storyline.
Inconsistency.
Even Darkest Hour, it did not have no storyline. I mean, yes, I can gain what the storyline was based on, but I had to figure it out within the first 10 minutes. And the movie was already rolling.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't understand what the... And then the thing about 15 to 17 to Paris was they teased the train the entire movie, and like you said, the last 10 to 5 minutes was about the whole train.
The worst part about it, man, and I'm sorry for spoilers here, guys, but this just has to be said. The movie starts with the train, and it shows you basically most of the attack, so all tension is deflated by the time you get to the big climax.
That's the thing, man. It is when I watch movies, I'm looking forward to that climax because I'm like, all right, now we're getting into it. We're gonna get what we need to get done. And then it's like this one. It's like, oh, all right. I thought we was just gonna get right into it. And to me, 15 to 17 to Paris was somebody who wanted to get paid on their heroism, and to me, that's not a hero. And I'm sorry, it's not. And anybody can go, oh, well, Only Brave was that. No, Only the Brave was asked to be done. The family did not want it done.
Well, guys, no disrespect to those guys. I respect the hell out of them for what they've done. And like I said, I found out that it wasn't their choice to do it. It was Clint Eastwood trying to do it. Which
you could say no.
Clint Eastwood, how do you go from doing American Sniper to that?
Well, here's the thing about Clint Eastwood. Let me go back to what I was saying though before I get on that. You can simply say no. It's not hard to say no. No.
I don't know, man. Have you ever been asked to play yourself in a movie?
No. But I'd say no because I'm already myself. Why would I want to play myself?
If they asked you to play yourself,
because here's the thing.
If they asked you to play yourself in 50 Shades of Grey, would you do it?
Hell no.
A movie that we will never talk about on this show.
Here's
by the
the
way.
thing. I'm already playing myself. You go to Hollywood, they're going to want you to do certain things in certain aspects, so you're not yourself.
I almost feel like if they asked me to play myself, I would be more like tense about doing it, and I would not be myself.
No, it's one of those things. Oh my God, man, it's so hard. It's like, all right, we want you to play yourself. Cool. I can already see how this is going to go. I'm like, yeah, all right. We need you to walk just like this. What's wrong with the way I'm walking? You said to play myself. I'm playing myself. I'm walking the way I walk. That's not the Hollywood way.
To kind of wrap up the discussion on this, on this movie in particular, can we talk about how badly that last action scene on the train is filmed?
The whole movie's bad.
No, let's talk about how it's actually filmed. You can't zero in on anything in that scene.
No, it's bad. It's just
it is horribly shot.
The whole movie's bad.
Like, I'm sorry, guys.
I would say the whole movie's bad.
Yeah,
you wanted to wrap up on the movie. The whole movie's bad.
Oh, we're wrapping up on it because I have nothing more to say. It's just a terrible movie.
I could go on for days about this movie. It's just bad.
All right. Anyway, guys, so we saw another.
So we're gonna stop there.
Because we can stand here and listen to Scott. I don't know why I said stand here because we're talking or because we're sitting down.
It's terrible.
But we saw another film last night. Very, very late.
We did.
We went to a 10:40 showing.
I don't want to recall.
Okay. Let's be easy on this movie because this is not the worst thing we've seen. Part of me actually enjoyed some of this movie. So this third movie that we're going to talk about...
You know the best thing about this movie was? So when I took a handful of popcorn and threw that at you and you jumped 10 feet up in the air.
Yeah, you can't go to the movies with Scott.
Because that was funny.
This guy talked. We were the only two people in the theater and he just took that as an open door to just run his mouth the entire movie.
Because the movie was bad.
And then the best part about this, let me tell this story. The theater guy walks in with
Hey, wait a minute. Is that why I'm a dick?
I don't know.
Oh.
Can we do a poll somehow and ask people why you're a dick?
I mean, a lot of people call me a dick, so...
I mean, I don't say it to your face, but I might have said it once or twice.
Oh, I see how this. You say I'm a dick when I'm not around. All right. I see where this is going.
Enough dicking around.
Yeah. No.
Insert cricket sound here.
No.
Anyway, so last night, let me wrap this part up. We were in the movie and Scott was chit-chatting away.
Are we rapping with a
and all of it? No.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden, the theater guy walks in with...
Can I tie the tie?
No.
Oh.
Well, you can probably because I suck at tying ties.
Oh.
So the theater guy walks in with his little torch.
So do you wear shoes with no laces or with laces?
Laces.
Oh, okay.
So the theater guy walks in with his torch and then goes... The theater guy...
Oh, yeah. Where'd he go?
The theater guy goes over to exit sign and disappears. And Scott just out loud goes, "Where'd he go?" And then he walks back as soon as you say that. And you're like, "Oh, shit."
No, I go, "Oh, hey." He didn't wave back. He was a jerk.
Oh, my God. If they could have kicked us out if we were disturbing anybody, they would have. No,
by
guys,
all means. He probably walked in and going, "These two dumbasses are watching the most terrible movie on the earth."
Okay, so we have put this off long enough. We saw Hostiles last night.
There was nothing about it being hostile.
I don't know, man. That opening action scene is pretty brutal.
Well, I mean...
There's about 4 death scenes within the first 5 minutes of this film.
And I was expecting something action-packed, thrilled. No.
Yeah, here's the thing about this movie. If you guys don't know what this is that new Christian Bale movie that he did that's kind of a Western.
Let me ask you this. What is going on with Christian Bale? Like, his last 2 or 3 movies have not been good.
What has he done before this last one?
I just had it on the top of my tongue, and then, yes, barely on the... and it just went bloop.
I'm glad this is an audio podcast, so everybody can't see what I'm actually looking at when you do that. No, what else has he done before that?
Man, I can't.
The last thing I remember was Exodus, Gods and Kings from 2014.
I thought he did one before that.
Well, he did. He was still in the Batman films at the time.
Oh, everybody thinks he does terrible with Batman. Me personally, I don't care who plays Batman as long as he does a good job, and he does a good job.
I love Christian Bale as Batman.
I'm just a little upset that he said he wouldn't be doing Batman after, what is it, the next Justice League he said, or the next Batman movie?
You mean Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Affleck. Controversial statement right here. Ben Affleck is my...
fucked up that name, didn't I? Well, here we go.
Ben Affleck is my favorite Batman. I'm just putting that out there.
No, I mean, Christian Bale did a good job, and then when he left...
No, he's great, but Ben Affleck is, to me, is Batman.
I don't know. It's just... I don't know.
Anyway, let's get back to Hostiles. So, Christian Bale plays a
This what happens
soldier.
when I have a brain fart. I just go quiet because I'm trying to think.
Plays a soldier in... When did they say this movie took place? 1890s?
Somewhere around there, yeah. It was when the Apache,
something like that. So he's a soldier, and he hates Native Americans, and he has to escort a small group of Indians to their homeland because their chief is dying, and he wants to be in their homeland. And that part of the movie is really riveting for me because there's so many scenes where he's struggling internally about his morals.
So the thing about this movie, in my opinion, is it's just too long for it to be what it is.
Oh, it's way too long. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Like, it made no sense. Like, and I'm not trying to spoil anything, but it started with one side of the story, then it jumped to another story, to another story, to another. There was like 6 stories in the one movie.
By the end, it kind of dropped the whole story anyway.
Yeah, there was no storyline at all. But
much like 1517 to Paris, it kind of picks up in one spot and then it just completely lets it go by the end.
I know. I didn't get a chance to go see it, but you went to go see Winchester.
Yeah.
Explain to me exactly what happened.
You mean like in terms of the story?
Yeah, the story. I don't care. We don't need to go back to what exactly happened in the theater. I just want to know what happened in the story.
What happened the first time I tried to see it, that was hell on earth. No, Winchester was really excited for that. Guys, Winchester was the second horror movie to come out this year. Because I also saw Insidious Part 4, or Insidious The Last Key with my brother.
So let me ask you this. Was Winchester dubbed a horror movie, or was it dubbed...
I don't know what it was supposed to be. It was like a half historical movie mixed with horror.
When I saw the previews, when I was watching Darkest Hour, when we went to go see Darkest Hour, it came through as a preview.
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh, they're making a Western. And it's been a while since Westerns came out. And I have a nostalgia thing with Westerns because my grandmother and I used to watch those all the time. Yeah. And that was her thing. So that's how we spent time together.
So Winchester, essentially, I'm not going to spoil it because it's still new and some people really want to see it. But Winchester is essentially about Sarah Winchester, who related to the Winchester rifles,
right,
from way back in the day.
I got
and
that.
So it's about her essentially her house is haunted by the spirits of those killed by the rifles that her family built.
Well, this already sounds stupid.
Yeah, so
I'm not gonna lie, it sounds stupid.
So her house is haunted, and the story goes, because it's based on semi-true events, the story goes she continuously built on her house.
So what's the semi-true part?
You'll have to do your research. I'm not going to try to quote it because I'll say it wrong.
What? How can you? Never mind.
So she continuously builds new rooms onto her house to keep the spirits at bay, because that's the only thing that'll keep them from bothering her. And they just add this horrible, horrible plot device in there where they try to focus in on one specific ghost that's malevolent towards her. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. And the motivation behind this ghost doesn't make any sense.
Man, here's the thing about me, guys. I don't watch horror movies because they don't do nothing for me. They don't give me a jump. They don't give me any resemblance of excitement. They're just nothing to me. And I'm not saying I don't get scared of nothing.
Two movies that I dragged him to in the past: The Visit and Drag Me to Hell, and he hates both of them.
And Drag Me to Hell, the only thing I had fun with was scaring Kevin or scaring the people in the theater.
Yeah, I jump in the theaters quite a bit.
The Visit, I fell asleep in because it was. And here's the thing.
Oh, you hate found footage movies.
And here's the thing: you can't really say The Visit was dubbed a horror movie. I mean,
it's looking back, it's more of like a dark comedy,
right? But horror movies don't do nothing for me. They don't grab my interest because they don't give me a scare. Because most horror movies they lead up to the scary scene, so you know something's about to happen.
Yeah.
Or they just get
there
dull.
There is a trap that a lot of horror movies are falling in. Studios think nowadays that a jump scare is the best way to scare someone. And I've seen movies that don't have any jump scares that are the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. There's a movie that I don't think you would like, but it's one of my favorites in the last couple years. It's called The Babadook. And basically this ghost is like an embodiment of depression of this main character. So there's this whole question of, is this ghost actually there? Or is this a manifestation of her grief and loss that she's suffering from?
Right.
Because it's becoming physical, and depression can do that in a way. So movies like that are great. And Insidious Part 4, there's not a whole lot to say with it. It's the fourth movie in a series of horror movies, but it's the best movie I've seen this year because it has consistency in it. It carries the story. It keeps the character of what's her name in that? You might not know this.
I don't know. Here's the best thing. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you.
The main character of Insidious, for some reason her name is escaping me right now.
You hate when shit happens like that, don't you?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh well, we'll get over it.
So they keep her likable, and they maintain some good scares, and they have practical effects. That's the big thing about horror movies. Practical is scarier than CGI.
Well, see, here's the thing. That's the thing a lot of movies are going to. Is CGI.
Which I will say this, Hostiles, I was glad. I don't think any of the three movies we've seen this year have really used any CGI.
I think CGI was used in Hostiles. And when I mean, well, I shouldn't say CGI. It was more of a backdrop.
Yeah, so here's the thing, and I said this to you before. Did you ever see The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Man, you ask me to think if I've seen movies. Then you go to my house and it's like I got 13 bookshelves.
Okay, well,
movies.
you have to watch The Revenant. So here's the thing:
why do I gotta watch it if I've already watched it?
You don't know if you've seen it yet.
Well, exactly. So why do I gotta watch it if I don't know if I watched it?
Because
or I
I'm trying to
make
a point.
Oh God.
Okay, so here's the thing. Hostiles has a lot of shots focusing on the horses and the characters riding them, and the backgrounds behind it.
You know what?
Look so fake.
You know what? There's another movie where a lot of horses were ridden. And it's called Patriot.
Patriot's a classic.
Yes, it is.
No, so this movie, if it would show me more, what I said to you, if it would show me more shots of the environment, animals interacting with them.
We had plenty of horses.
I'm not referring to the horses.
Oh.
Show me more of the lifestyle. There's a collection of scenes where they go to like a fort, and there's so many pointless scenes there.
Here's my question on this. How do we go from like 6 horses to 18 horses? And I'm exaggerating that number because there's no way we can walk with 18.
Yeah,
watch
the
it.
shots aren't consistent at all.
But my thing about it is the CGI and the latest movies.
The background.
And I'm even going late 2017. I mean, I know we're in almost March, but late like December and November when like Justice League came out, and there's a handful of other movies that came out. The CGI alone is just, I mean, it's.
Don't even get me started on the CGI villain from Justice League. Most hollow villain I've ever seen in a movie.
My thing is here's the thing. My best movie I've seen in 2018 was a movie that came out in 2017 when I bought it on DVD and I put it in my DVD player to watch it at home. And that was The Brave.
Yep.
Okay, here's the thing.
I watched it last weekend myself, second time.
You know, I volunteered as a firefighter. Of course, I got injured in a motor vehicle accident, and I can't do nothing with my back injured. But here's the thing. Only The Brave, hands down, the best movie for me of 2017. And it was so underrated. And it was so pushed back to the back burner because of all these bigger movies that came out that a lot of people missed out.
Yeah.
A lot of people missed out.
Yeah, nobody talks about it, man. It didn't even get reviewed on a lot of sites.
No.
So let me ask you this, because we're kind of hitting the 30-minute mark here. We want to keep this a very simple episode, I think.
Simple?
Yeah.
There's nothing simple.
Typical, atypical, whatever you want to call it.
There's nothing typical, atypical about us either.
So let me ask you this to kind of...
I mean, we're quite nerdy. I'm just saying.
Hence the name of the show.
So there's nothing simple.
Yeah, you were really proud of your welcome to the Nerdy Know-It-All podcast. You got the breath going there.
Yeah, it was going. And then and you know what? You got hyped with your lyrics. You just came up with two right off the spot. It was just like boom.
I don't know if I can call those lyrics.
I don't know. It was pretty simple.
Yeah. So there is something simple about us. Yeah. No, let me ask you this.
Anyhow,
we're gonna bring this home. So going forward with 2018, we got a lot of movies coming out. We have the new Avengers coming out. We have, the bank heist movie with the storm coming out. The name's escaping me at the moment.
I want to say it's called the Hurricane Heist. I don't know.
Something like that. We have a lot of movies coming out this year. We have a lot of big blockbusters coming out. Black Panther just came out. Moving forward in 2018, what do you hope to see more with these films? What is lacking in film right now?
I'm not going to go see another movie in 2018. That's what's going to be
Okay,
happening.
Well, we're really going separate ways on this end because I can't just stop going to the movies.
No, first of all, the thing about it is the movies need a story. They have to have a story. I'm tired of going to a movie that doesn't have a story. With that being said, I can't, it's slipping my mind, but I know of like 2 movies that are coming out based on true stories or true events.
Well, there's the Ted Kennedy one coming out.
The Ted Kennedy one and the Thomas Edison movie. And it's supposed to come out in either March or April.
I think that got pushed back for some reason.
Yeah.
But Benedict Cumberbatch is a big favorite of mine nowadays.
So my thing about it is with those 2 movies I'm looking for a solid story based on the true events and hopefully done very well. And what I mean by that, like I said, is you got a good story, there's a good plot, there's good actors. I'm tired of seeing movies with bad actors. There's not, we're going to make a 2.5-hour movie, but we just need to find a way to fill in the time. Oh, we're just going to put multiple scenes of us doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. If it's only an hour-and-a-half movie, I'd rather pay the $9-10 to go see an hour-and-a-half movie.
You'd rather see a solid 90 minutes than a very long and stretched out, just pointless 2 hours.
Because here's the thing, man. It's like I said, sitting down that long is hard for me. I mean, I'm up and doing stuff.
So to kind of wrap it up too with what I would like to see, I want to see more characters that I care about. I want to see characters that have depth. I don't want just big superheroes that kind of have surface level motivations. I don't want to see stereotypical horror movie characters where they're just bodies to be killed. I want to see good characters, and I want to see character development.
And seeing that's the
one thing I can say that's good to finish off with Hostiles. The character that Christian Bale is playing does have an arc. He starts in one place and he ends in another, and you're invested in his journey.
But and see, here's the thing about that character too. It's so hard to grasp onto that character just because he's so, I wouldn't say hollow, but he's just so mannequin-like. Like, he just sits there and stares into space, or he just stands there and stares in space.
How many times do you think we talked about how everyone sounds like they just came out of the dentist when they started talking.
Right. It's like they try to portray the South, and I'm a Southern boy myself, and I can tell you right now, we ain't talking like that. I mean,
you don't talk like this.
No, it's like they put something in their lips, which they did because you can see in the screen.
Yeah.
They did bad cover-ups where they got their cheek poking out with something between the teeth and the gum, trying to make them draw out stuff, and it's like they're trying to be harsh on the words, and that's not how they talked back then.
No. So, needless to say, guys, we haven't seen the greatest films this year. They're not the worst things. Well, 15 to 17 to Paris is the worst thing, but...
Here's what I'm thinking. We do a second episode later on in the year about this.
About the midway point of 2018?
Yeah, see how we're doing. And then we do a part 3 at the end of the year.
To top it off at the end of the year? I'm down.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right.
I mean, it's kind of a quarter of the way, so we'll do the second part a little bit, like 2 or 3 months.
Hey, let's keep going. I'll keep using my Regal card. I got free points to get a free movie ticket.
But at the end of the year, of course, we could do a coverall of all the bases, and we'll just keep a list of
we'll do a reflection episode at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's near here and there.
Well, nevertheless, guys, this has been the first episode of the Nerdy Know It All podcast, movies in 2018.
Hey, we got the first episode.
We did. Can we high five on the mic?
Oh, no. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're really excited that we finally got to launch this, guys. We're really looking forward to do it.
Was that first one?
No, because I don't even know what it was.
Okay.
No, we're really excited to keep doing this, guys, and we're gonna have an episode every week. And please like, subscribe. Let us know what you'd like to hear us talk about.
Hey,
and
Kevin, I got a question. Where can you find this podcast at?
You can find us on SoundCloud.
Where else?
I'll let you take that one.
I don't know where else we're going to be at.
No, right now, guys, we're on SoundCloud. We're going to work on getting it in different places. We might make a Facebook page where you can like us on there and follow us when we post new episodes. Anymore? A lot of people.
Apparently.
No, this is just the start, guys. This is the first episode. We wanted to get this out to you. We will have an episode every week. We don't know the day yet, but it'll be a week from whatever day we put out this episode. And Scott, do you have any closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts? Here's one. Closing thought.
I'll top that and say closing thoughts.
Yeah, anyhow. Thank you for listening, guys.
Yeah, this has been Kevin.
This is Scott.
And this is the Nerdy Know It All podcast.
No, it's podcast.
Podcast.
Oh, God. We're nerds.
See you guys next time.
Nerdy Know It All.